Hey everyone, Dan here. I wanted to take a minute to look at SUNW before the market opens to see if, there might be some information that we can uncover that'll help us trade it this week. I do want to mention if you enjoy this analysis by the time it's over, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot, and I definitely appreciate it. So SUNW is basically half of the share price that it once was, or at least that's the case as it was down in this $11 range. We've clawed our way back to 1330. I say I don't actually have a position right now in SUNW, but I would consider getting in, and I'll sort of point out why. If I were in this play, I would definitely have my stop loss just under this 1193 mark, probably at something like 1175 or something like that. And, if you haven't seen my videos before, basically the reason for that is I do think that it should bounce off of 1193, but, the market varies day to day and you never know how much volatility there is. There is a chance that there's, a candlestick that has a very long wick that stretches down and taps some lower levels, but it doesn't really sustain there for any period of time. This one that dipped down to 1020 would kind of be analogous to the thing that I'm talking about. So like in this, that's such a crazy wick. Granted, this is the 1 hour chart, and so this was the first hour of trading, and sometimes you can see that type of wild wick during the first hour. You see the exact opposite thing here, actually, this wild high. So, that's what I would do if I was in it, just to kind of protect my capital. But where we are today, we're at this 1330 level, and I do think that we're, sitting very close to a level that if it could establish support at this 1340 level, then it could have like a jumping off point to get over 14. And, I've identified a few magnetic zones here. This one has a lot of strength. All of these ones that have boxes have definite strength. I would say that from 1422, 1533, and 1747, so the ones with the boxes there, those definitely have the biggest impact in terms of like magnetic zones / friction to me. So again, if you're not familiar, magnetic zones means that, as you sort of saw here, the price was drawn into that range. It surpassed it, but then it got drawn back down to it. It left it again, got drawn back down to it, and left it again, and actually got drawn back to it again. So these are ranges that the price just happens to consistently find as time goes on. And we want to really pay attention to what the price does when it hits those zones, whether it is looking bullish or bearish, and then, we make our trading plan accordingly. So what I would look to do, if I were to enter this trade, and I definitely might, this is an interesting setup to me, I would be looking for it to establish over this 1422 level. If it goes over this 1340 and establishes that as support, then, I think that's great. To me, that wouldn't be the be-all, end-all. I'd probably look more for this 1422. And I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks 1422, tries to approach that 1533, and then dips all the way back down to the 1422 level before figuring out what it's going to do then. So I may look to enter on the second 1422 approach. So, if we can get there and bounce off the 1422 and truly get to 1533, given all of this activity here, all of this support that it previously was, that's going to indicate that it's very strong resistance now that we're coming from underneath that price. And so I think, we're going to bump our heads against that several times. This 1606 level, if we can establish that 1533 as support, I think, there's some friction to it. It's not as strong, in my opinion, as the 1533. So I think, there will be a little bit of back and forth there, a little bit of consolidating, but I would expect us to move more quickly from 1533 to 1747 than we do from 1422 to 1533, if that makes sense. And by move to, I mean establish 1533 as a support. So not just that it bounces its head off of that number and drops back down. So I think that there's like a strong bullish case here. I would, like I said, you know, set your stop loss accordingly. But as I'm looking to potentially get into this, I'm really going to be paying attention to what it does at 1422. And yeah, I mean, it'll depend in the moment, and I will send updates to my Twitter as things are happening. On Twitter, I'm at Dan_Coyle. I'll put that in the description if you want to follow me there. But, you know, as it establishes at the 1422 and approaches the 1533, like I said before, I would suspect that it's going to bounce off the 1533, come back down to or very close to the 1422. So what I'll probably look to do if I want to enter it, wait for it to get to something like, you know, 15, and then set a limit buy for probably like 1440, something like that. So that's just my plan. Obviously, do your own homework and see what makes sense to you. But this could be a good one. I think it has a lot of potential upside, and it's worth a look. So in any case, good luck with this one if you decide to jump in or if you're already in it. And good luck with your trading this week. And I'll plan on seeing you in the next video.